Hi, friends. You'll have to excuse my appearance. I actually wasn't sure if I'd film right now. I've had like the worst stomach bug. I don't get sick very often, like knock on wood. Hi, kitty. Um, and when I do, it's usually a cold. And for some reason, like, whew, pardon me, kitty. For some reason, I feel like I would take a cold over this because at least you kind of have an idea of when a cold is like tapering down. With this, I had a couple days where I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely feeling better. And then I had a few days where I definitely wasn't feeling better. Yeah, so I'm still on the very, very tail end of it. I don't want to say anything. I really don't want to jinx it. It's been so bad. I just want to make it through it and get back to normal because I just that it's been terrible. Anywho, it's sort of I read something that it might have even just been the caption, but it hit me. And I was like, wow, that's true. And I think I've written about it before. I apologize for the yawning. If anyone's been sick, which I'm sure a majority of us have, then you know that you don't sleep super well. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can really take for a stomach bug. Like with a cold, as much as I don't like to take anything, if you have a cold, you can at least maybe take something at night to get some sleep to help your body heal. Not with a stomach bug. You're at the mercy of your gut at that point, and the bug. But anywho, so I think the caption was like, you can change your mind. And I was like, yeah, you can. Now, it sounds so silly because like you are in control of your mind. So you're like, yeah, of course I can change my mind. But it goes a lot deeper because I think like as humans, we're prone to habit and routine, and that can be really good. But when it becomes a habit or a routine around a thought that you have that doesn't, serve you or makes you feel terrible or has you questioning things about yourself that you're certain of under normal circumstances, it just becomes a thing that, well, it becomes the things you want to change, but people are in this sort of like space where they're like, well, no, this is how I operate. This is how I think about things. This is me. And as funny as it sounds, you are not your thoughts because not all thoughts are true. You know, I can, something that I thought about for a really long time, like a really long time, is that like I didn't follow through. I'd start something and I didn't finish it. Or I'd try to hold someone accountable or try to hold myself accountable and I wouldn't hold them or myself accountable. So I didn't follow through. It wasn't a follow, like I didn't follow through. And in reality, that thought was the thing that continued to hold me back because I was focusing on the thing that I wasn't doing instead of focusing on the thing that I wanted to actually be doing. Like if it's, for instance, if this was a few years ago and I was thinking that I wouldn't follow through, then I would be having troubles making videos right now for YouTube. Because I'd be like, oh, well, I don't see it through. I just don't keep up with it. Hi, kitty. Hello, sweet kitty. The internet doesn't need to see your bum. Um, when in reality, what I'm focusing on now, after all this work through my brain, is that I want to keep making videos because I'm having fun. And I hope that something that I talk about is going to be something that helps someone else. Like things that I've gone through to help someone else. And maybe they either don't have to go through it or maybe they've been through it and they're like, oh man, I know how to finish processing that. But it it's so stormy looking today. Sorry, I got so distracted. We have these like this like herd flock of geese that have been in the field on and off the past few days by the trailer, and it then directed me to look towards the very gloomy sky that we have coming. But we've been in a heat wave, so we probably need it. I'm such an adult. It's sickening sometimes. Anywho, yeah, so we get as humans into this like spiral that like that's how we operate and that like change is hard. And again, change is hard as a thought. And that's something that I've had to dig into. And if you think change is hard, that's something that you likely need to change into. Uh, Creating habits can be difficult. I think we can all agree with it. But the actually deciding to change something, actually deciding to change your mind, all it takes is a literal thought. I like to use what if statements. Now, some people, there's some stuff on the internet right now that I don't agree with what if statements, but how I utilize them is, I think, very different. So for me, it'd be like, what if I do follow through? What if I can change my mind? What if all it takes to change my mind is changing my thought about it? What if change isn't hard? What if change is as easy as just saying what I want to change out loud? And those sound kind of silly because they're kind of like weird questions. But when I like sit down and actually like marinate on those, my brain's like, yeah, what if change is all about changing a thought? Like, what if all I have to do is change this thought? What if I just say that I do follow through? What if I do say that I keep up with things instead? I keep up with things because I'm capable of it. Like, it's so silly, but I found that like doing like what ifs about things that like you wonder about yourself, like again, it's kind of like trying on a thought. Um, but having a what if, it's almost like it creates possibility in your brain. So if I'm struggling with something, I'll like literally write it. And you don't have to write it, you can just think it, but I prefer to like physically write it down. Um, but I'll sit there and I'll write out some what ifs, just like what I did, just like riffing, just like that. And sometimes it's all I need to create clarity or to create like this ease in my brain about whatever it is that I'm dealing with. So, yeah, I'm still trying to keep these a little shorter, and I hope you can't hear the cat yelling. He's trying to go outside. If you've been here a while, you know. It's going to be a common theme in my life, our life, the videos. Yeah. So, anywho, I'm going to leave it at that, and maybe just try some what ifs on if it helps. If it doesn't, don't roll with it. Like, there's going to be things that help and there's going to be things that don't help. But I'm here to try to help and to pass on what I've learned over the past few years and as I continue to learn. And leave a comment for me below if you try on your what if. You don't have to share it, but I'd be interested to see what the people of the world are thinking. So if you try on a what if statement, let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe because it literally makes or breaks the channel. I'm finding. So like, subscribe. It is free to subscribe, and it really, really, really helps me get to the goals that I'm trying to get to. I again apologize if you can hear the cat yelling. And we'll see you on the next one.